Hello and welcome back with another Star Trek Discovery reaction video. Today we're going to talk and, react on the last episode of Star Trek Discovery, Choose Your Pain. So obviously this is a really interesting title and there's a lot of things happen in this episode that we can talk and mention and, just generally talk about. So this episode goes on in multiple lines. First off, we have Captain Lorca dealing with his situation on the Klingon ship, and then we have Saru, who deals with his situation on the Discovery, and he doesn't really like being a captain. And then we have Burnham, who really concerned about the Tardigrade, and then we have Burnham plus the Doctor, who try to convince Stamets, and then they together try to convince Saru, but then, okay, the captain actually more important than the creature itself. And obviously we have Tilly, who brightens up the whole situation in Discovery. So there's quite a few things in this episode that I found particularly interesting. First of all, that I really enjoyed is the situation with Saru. Saru being acting captain and being just thrown into that position because his captain being captured. While I don't really understand why the captain was actually traveling with a shuttle, why the Discovery wasn't in the starbase. To be honest, they could have done the trip with the Discovery itself, and then the captain just go back to the ship and that's it. Now why a shuttle and just one single person against? It does feel a bit strange, but maybe that's me. As I said, the interesting part of this episode for me particularly is Saru. It's a really interesting scene at the end when he actually opened up for Burnham and he said, okay, I'm jealous of you because you happen to have to spend the time with Captain Georgiou and you got all the wisdom and teaching from her, and then yet I never gonna have the chance that you had, and now you're a mutineer and I'm the first officer that I should have been in under the command of Captain Georgiou, and having him not really ready for this sort of situation, being an active captain, and comparing himself to current or past acting captains. That was really interesting. You notice the names in the display, so there were quite a few names that actually we got to see and got to know from different Star Trek series. I mean, Robert April, Captain Archer, or even William Decker, Christopher Pike. That was a really interesting note for this episode. Obviously, the other part of this episode was Captain Lorca, and we got to see Hardcore Phantom Mudd, and we got to see Ash Tyler as well. Well, the situation with Captain Lorca and how he actually reacted to the whole situation, and it turned out he actually blew up his previous crew. But this is actually an interesting fact about the whole situation of Lorca, because he talking about he's murdering his own crew, basically losing his ship, and he was the only one who actually escaped, and he didn't want the crew getting tortured by the Klingons. But it's only 6 months. Feels a bit of a short period of time to actually have all this happening. I'm curious actually if this aspect of him will come back in the show later on, but we'll see. Obviously the third really big thing of this episode was Michael Burnham and the Tardigrade, and it's interesting because we're talking about animal cruelty. It's a really delicate and interesting theme to talk about and to have it in the show. So there was this scene that actually made me really smile and think about us fans and complaining about the whole show, like how actually dark is this, when Captain Lorca was injecting something in his eye and the Admiral came into the room and she switched on the lights and everything became so bright and shiny, and it's like finally you can see something, and then Captain Lorca was like, tone it down, because like, oh, I have sensitive eyes. I'm like, what? What? Finally we got to see the set, and now it disappeared. So thank you very much for that, Lorca. There's two things that I do want to address in this reaction video, is Hardcore Phantom Mudd and Ash Tyler. As I said multiple times, Hardcore Phantom Mudd wasn't really my favorite character in the animated series or in the original series. Ray Wilson really did a good job with this character, because actually while I was watching the episode I kept thinking about the original Mudd, and basically he delivered Mudd as he was in the original series, so I still don't like him. Ash Tyler, although different story, because first off, he being captured in the Battle of the Binary Stars, and he being tortured, and he being kept in this ship, in this Klingon prison ship, for 6 months. And there was an interesting fusion between these two characters, L'Rell and Ash Tyler. So wonder what was happening over there, because L'Rell actually said at one point, after all we have went through, and if he being captured in the Battle of the Binary Stars, and they knew each other from ever since, but we never got to see actually them in the previous episodes, and they've been basically abandoned in T'Kuvma's ship. So who is exactly Ash Tyler? Which is actually brings up an interesting question: who is Ash Tyler and where is Vok? This is just a theory crafting here, so if I'm wrong, that's totally fine. But there was something strange in this story as well, like how he ended up in the ship for 6 months and without, you know, getting any harm or something. And this is totally an editorial note in this video, something that I totally forgot to address, and especially with Wok. I have a feeling Ash Tyler basically is Wok in disguise. Remember the previous episode, in the last scene, actually L'Rell said to Wok, you have to give up everything to actually succeed with this mission. So giving up on everything, it might have a thing to do with altering his own image, so he might gonna end up as human. And he's basically Ash Tyler, so I have a feeling Ash Tyler will be Wok. So it's a very interesting tie. I'm really curious to find out if this is gonna be true or not. And the Klingons. The Klingons supposed to be 3 times more dangerous and more harmful and stronger than humans. And Captain Lorca and Ash Tyler, they just broke their neck, and they've been fighting with them. What the hell? What was that whole scene about? I'm just having really difficult time to actually accept this fact in this episode. So, but apart from that, I'm totally okay. I mean, this is basically the 5th episode. Choose your pain. I chose my pain. It lasted for 45 minutes. That it turned out actually it was just 5 minutes. So the episode itself was really cool. I enjoyed these little bits with Saru and how he actually was dealing with the captaincy, and obviously the story with the Tardigrade. And at the end we got to this weird scene at the you know, in Lieutenant Stamets' quarters. But they've been brushing their teeth, and basically they've been talking to each other, and you know how Stamets felt the same way as the Tardigrade as he stepped into this chamber. And when both of them walked out from the bathroom, basically Stamets' mirror image was there, and it was interesting to see actually the mirror image staying there. And so I know a lot of people probably start to associate this scene with the mirror universe, which I thought at the same. I thought at the beginning, like, okay, this could be the lead for the mirror universe, and it's a symbolic way to actually start the mirror universe episode, unless if this is the mirror universe already. But in a sense, we could actually think about the Tardigrade essence that actually he injected in himself. Maybe that has a different side effect, and that's why we saw this you know, mirror image moving slower and the same direction as actually he did, but later. So maybe there's a temporal distortion. So I'm just saying there might be another different theory for that scene in this. So I'm really curious to find out what's gonna happen next in the episode. Let me know in the comment section below what do you think about the 5th episode of the Star Trek Discovery, Choose Your Pain. Was it really painful, or wasn't it really painful for you? And as always, don't forget to like and share the video, and don't forget to subscribe to receive all the geekiness every week. And until next time, live long and prosper.